Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. Oh, no. The Wednesday.
What it do? I'm Greg. That's Greg.
Darn it.
Okay, Greg.
I taped that up there this morning, and now it's underneath your chair.
It is right now.
He's not only a Texas high school football analyst.
That's about to fall. 3, 2, 1. Ah, that would have been great. Anyway, it's going to fall while I'm talking. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the pre-show before the free show. I'm Greg. That's Greg. That's Ashley. We are in the midst of football season, and we have a pretty sizable announcement about our Friday night show, Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight, which you can watch on TexanLive.com and on YouTube. It's the Friday night program that's sweeping the nation is really what I've heard. And the first 2 weeks have been fantastic, right, Executive Producer Ashley Pickle?
Yes, it has.
Been fantastic. Whip around coverage of the biggest games across the state of Texas. And I think the on-air talent's been really good. We've gone and done look-ins to like the booth for the guys at Texan Live who are on the call. Mm-hmm. They've done great. Our host, Nick Lalpius, has been terrific.
You finally got his name.
I did. I've been practicing Lalpius.
Yes.
There's like it's that little
yes.
you got to throw in there.
Yeah.
Lalpius. He's been great. And our analyst, Ishmael Johnson, has stepped up in a big way. But Ish is not available this week. Is that correct? Ish is...
I think he's just tired of dealing with me. He needed...
his contract, he gets a break.
Every 2 weeks he gets a pickle break, which is really what he needs.
Tough but fair. So we've needed another analyst for the show. I'm unfortunately unavailable on Friday nights. I've got duties on Valley Sports Southwest. So we looked around. We were looking for somebody to fill in the sizable shoes left by Ishmael Johnson. Mm-hmm. And I think we found somebody.
We did.
Ladies and gentlemen, your analyst on Friday night's episode of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Tonight. Greg Powers.
Let's go!
You fired up?
Yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
It's going to be awesome.
I'm
really
so excited.
I'm really excited because this is the show, and this is how we normally are. This is not an act. Like, we're just pretty genuine with one another. But this is like, we know we're being broadcast. We're looking at cameras. Hello. Hi. I just love talking football with you, period.
Nice.
I just love talking football with you. And so I'm excited for you to get to talk football to the entire state.
Let's do it.
To talk to everybody. And just
no pressure in that.
You're going to be fine.
No pressure in that.
What's really cool, and we were talking about this last night, is like I always forget how different you as a recruiting guy and us more as like a what you would say traditional TV analyst. Like we look at Texas high school football very differently because you're following the recruits, we're following more team aspect of it, and so I'm really excited because there's never been a show that has had this like. Here's how I look at it from a recruiting analyst perspective, and that's really cool.
Well, but here's the thing, and we're just gonna say nice things about Greg Powers as if he's not sitting.
That's how I spend
here.
most all of my life.
As if he's not sitting here. Powers, and one of the reasons that he's the right person to be our director of recruiting, is that there are some members of the recruiting industrial complex that view high school football as like a means to an end. Like
right.
it's a prospect, it's a farm system, you know what I mean? And what I appreciate, and that's not wrong, there's no right or wrong to be clear. What I appreciate about you, and I've always appreciated about your coverage of recruiting, is that you are very intentional about viewing it in the context that high school football does matter, and DJ Lagway is great and is going to be great at Florida. Also, what he does at Willis matters and has inherent value. And so that's what I have always appreciated about your recruiting coverage and why I'm so excited for everybody to get to see you on Friday night talking about it.
Well, I don't think that you can separate those two things out. You know, you have – if you're not a good team player, a lot of the times you're not going to be a good college player. Mm-hmm. But how can you not love Texas high school football? You know what I mean? Like, how can you not love Texas high school football?
The words of Mallory Hartley, correct.
We have tremendous games. Like for example, last week, I was at Aledo, Denton Geyer, and guess what? There was like 15 D1 prospects on the field, right around the 15 D1 prospects. But the game is what took precedent.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what I mean? And within that game, you get to see who's going to step up and who does the coach trust and who does the quarterback trust in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And that's what makes it a lot of fun from a recruiting perspective for me. But I like to categorize recruiting coverage as telling the stories about Texas high school football players who are going to college. I think that's the difference between what we do and maybe some of the national sites do. Mm-hmm. We tell the Texas high school football stories. I just get to tell the ones about the big time guys who are going to college, and there's plenty of them. There's going to be 400?
Yeah. There's going to be 400.
Grev came up to class last night, and it was awesome because he walks in, he says hi to all of our students that are on the crew, and then we break up into their groups. Some are doing graphics, some are doing video editing, all that kind of stuff. And we had given them prospects to look up stats for, and there was one of them who was some sort of lineman, maybe an offensive lineman. I don't remember exactly.
It was Raekwon Bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they were looking for stats. Well, obviously, sometimes those are hard to come by.
Yeah.
And so they looked at me and they were like, hey, Ashley, I'm not being able to find any stats. And I was like, all right, well, just put an asterisk next to it. And Grev just starts spitting bars.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, he was an Under Armour All-America. He was a DCTF Hot 100. He was the offensive line captain at blah, 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 blah. And everybody just sat there looking at him. And I was like, this is why we're bringing the guy in. It was so funny.
The big guns out.
I was like, oh, just skip it. And he was like, blah.
I love Texas high school football. I really do. But I also really love offensive linemen.
Correct.
Get me on offensive lineman talk. Like, that's my jam right there. That's what I'm going to games. And as a matter of fact, hey, shout out to our friends at Texan Live, because I was watching a lot of games last night, prepping for the show. I found 2 offensive linemen. I've not seen their names on any other websites.
Let's go.
One of them's a monster.
Okay.
A monster. So stay tuned. I might throw a tweet out there after the show about offensive linemen to watch.
He's Greg Powers, and he's going to be hosting Dave Campbell's Texas Football tonight alongside Nick Laupius on Friday night, 7:30 p.m. YouTube and Dave Campbell's Texan.
Tune in to hear me butcher Nick's name.
It's okay. I've done it for years.
Hit the theme expo. Pickle! Did the air sign. Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show on the internet. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the places that we're listening to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting in this chair, sitting over in that chair at the helm today, steering, accelerating, decelerating, making things happen. She's the Dutch to the dorks. She's Ashley Pickle.
I don't think we ever decelerate around here. I think it's full-on acceleration.
It's a great point, and especially when I'm sitting next to
Grev!
What's up? Happy Wednesday, y'all. It's This Week in Recruiting, and I'm fired up to be here.
The director of recruiting for Dave Campbell's
I
Texas
need
Football.
someone to gift that. That was big. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I knew what to do with them. I was partying.
That's right.
Oh, okay.
It's always a party.
Those are your party signals.
Today is Wednesday, September 6th, 2023. 78 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Idris Elba.
Oh, nice.
Idris Elba's 51 today. We go to Ashley Pickle for comment.
I think that he's a very nice-looking man.
He's Stringer Bell from The Wire.
Yep.
Great show.
Excellent show.
Great voice.
And
good face.
Ooh. The best character on The Wire?
I haven't seen The Wire.
Stringer Bell? It's tough.
I'm an Omar guy.
Omar's great.
I think the McNulty was the best acted.
Unbelievable. Bunk is unbelievable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lester. I love Lester. I mean, there's so many good characters, but Stringer is an icon. He's probably the most iconic. Well, no, maybe Omar.
I can't remember the mayor's name. Not Littlefinger mayor.
Oh, you're talking about season 4 and 5. He wins the election.
No, the first season.
Oh, the first mayor.
First mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Game of Thrones character Littlefinger, I can't remember what his real name is the mayor at the end. But
yeah. Anyway, by the way, I think it was. I don't remember who it was. Somebody had it was some stand-up comedian. He had a bit about Idris Elba.
Clarence
Royce, crooked as all get out. They had some stand-up comedian had a bit about Idris Elba about when people realized he was British because he just sounds like he's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect accent. Anyway, happy birthday to Idris Elba. It's episode 1644. On today's show, folks, This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. All things recruiting across the Lone Star State. Then back half the show, Powers caught up with the 4-star TCU commit quarterback at Aledo, Hauss Hejny. Exceptional quarterback name.
Dude, he balled out on Friday.
We will hear from Hauss Hejny coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Nick Morton, used dirty sock.
Yep.
Tony Blaylock and Daniel Agnew. Welcome in, fellas.
Okay. Welcome in. This is your call right now in the comments. We need your questions for Helpful Honda Mailbag. If you got questions for Helpful Honda Mailbag, get them in today during the show. We're going to have them on Friday, but we want to prep them and sort through them. So everyone is required to submit one question. Right now, if you hear my voice, get in the comments and submit at least one question for Helpful Honda Mailbag. We'll get through the best of them on Friday, but this is your call. Get them in now for Helpful Honda Mailbag. Get them in right now. Questions, high school football, college football, recruiting, lifestyle, romance, travel, whatever you've got. Get in the comments. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week
in Cruton.
This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout. Sees fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And, of course, this is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express. I went there on Friday because it's my normal pre-TV big lunch because I don't like to eat right before the show, so I like to have big lunch right then go home and take a nap. Something I realized, they have wings there, like at Chicken Express. I think it's like a number 8 combo.
Yeah,
I was this close to getting it, but I didn't, and now it's hanging over my head. I've been thinking about it a lot.
Their wings are good.
Are they good?
I just had I don't know if they have something different besides just the normal fried chicken wings, but sometimes I get the breast and wing combo. Mm-hmm. That's my. If I don't get the number 1, I'm getting the breast and wing combo, which I like a lot.
Meals. Yeah, it's so they got boneless hot wings.
That rules.
Boneless hot wings. Never had that.
Boneless hot wings. It's like the number 6 combo, and I was because I've got mine that I just rattle off and don't think about it. But I think they were handcrafting someone else's order, and so I had a minute to look at the menu, and I was like, "Ooh, wait a second, is this close?" I thought a lot about them.
I tried to put your picture in, Powers. He just sent this to me. It's sideways, so everyone tilt your head to the left, please. But this is a picture from Powers.
There you go.
The man. Where was that?
Shout out to Midlothian ISD.
Let's go.
Multi-purpose stadium for serving up Chicken Express in the press box on Thursday. Talk about dreams do come true. Dreams come true whenever you have Chicken Express. I think we willed that into existence. Yeah. Last week, did we not talk about last week? Maybe I'll have Chicken Express in the press box. And bam, there it was. Chicken Express, fried okra, chicken tendies, mashed potatoes, gravy, rolls, and bonus on top, what you would never expect in a million years. They had a 5-gallon cooler full of cold sweet tea.
I would have fallen asleep before the game because I would have.
Congratulations to Midlothian ISD, School District of the Year. Congratulations to them. By the way, where we shot the 2011 cover, Jonathan Gray and Sarah's Gray.
You want to know how I know that it was like a good meal?
How'd you know it was a good meal?
I was getting ready to interview Davon Keys.
Yeah.
And I had gravy on my knuckles that would have dried up, like a little bit of gravy. Had to wipe it off. That's how you know. That's how you know that like you were in the right spot for.
It's this week in recruiting. Man, I don't know what we're charging for Chicken Express for this sponsor, but like I feel like it's not enough because you can tell we love Chicken Express.
We live it.
It's This Week in Recruiting with Griff Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let's get into it. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Prospect on the rise, let's go to Waco. Talk about Waco Connolly senior running back Kiefer Sibley, who was a monster in their win over Waco La Vega, running for 356 yards and 6 touchdowns to lead the Cadets to a wild 48-40 win over La Vega. He's a guy, he feels under-recruited.
Yeah.
He's only got 8 offers. Some big ones, right? He's got Houston,
nice
Oklahoma State, Nebraska, etc. But this guy's under the radar, right?
I think so. I mean, he's been a 3-star for a long time. As a matter of fact,
Stop running. You can't run without your helmet. Sorry, it makes me tense.
This is like a kind of a throwback because Kiefer Sibley was our underclassman of the week 1 last year.
Oh, wow.
He had a 300-yard game, I believe, like in his first basically his first varsity start. This year, his performance for the Cadets is going to be even more important because they don't have Jelani McDonald anymore. So they need guys to make plays. You'll see Kobe Black, the number 1 rated cornerback in the state, flip over and play some offense this year as well, contribute on special teams. But Sibley's going to be like the star of the show. So he's going to line up and do a lot of different things for this team, and obviously he's going to put up monster numbers. I'm looking at the schedule, and there's some there's some big games on that schedule for Connolly. They have to go to China Spring, but a win over La Vega, a crosstown showdown win.
Well,
that's like a big win, and to play what I don't want to say that he's not going to have a better game than this season. But this could be his best game of his senior season against the crosstown rivals. Have yourself a game, Kiefer Sibley, and congratulations for leading your team to a 48-40 win.
And the La Vega team that, like, culturally is a team that's just like, we're going to stop the run. Like, this is what we do. We are the team that stops the run. And so to go nuts like that on La Vega is awfully impressive. So Kiefer Sibley from Waco Connolly, our prospect on the rise. Let's roll into the college spotlight, the team of the week. This is a new thing. New bit. Let's talk about the Texas State Bobcats, who, boy, it's good times in San Marcos. We had Jacob Rodriguez of Squaring Around on the show yesterday, talk about their big win over Baylor, and they are doing some work on the recruiting trail. They have 11 commits for the class 2024, all within the state of Texas, and that has been a big push for G.J. Kinney.
Take back Texas.
And they're doing it with some real stars, and what I think is kind of the purpose of hiring a guy with Texas high school roots like G.J. Kinney is it's not necessarily just to get the 5 stars. Obviously, we want to get those guys, but to get those 3-star gems, and they got a lot of those guys.
Well, I mean, we've got 10 out of 11 are already rated 3 stars, and I would say 8 out of those 10 were rated 3 stars prior to them making their commitment to Texas State. I counted, I believe, 3 of those recruits that are on the list that had Power 5 conference offers. So Texas State in the 2024 cycle underneath of Kenny's direction is recruiting at a different level. Like, this is a different Texas State recruiting machine that we haven't seen in some time. Ever.
Yeah.
We've never seen this. They've recruited Texas well in years past, but we haven't seen them recruit Texas well this well.
Correct. And this, you're getting a look at Tyler Norris, the offensive tackle from WT White in Dallas ISD, and this is the classic sleeper, I think, at the tackle spot.
I love him. 6'4", 290 pounds, very versatile. Watch this play here. Bam! Slaps the defender right by and gets to the second level to get another block. This was the play when I was watching his highlight tape that screamed to me like, wow, Texas State got a steal. There were some other schools that were really on Norris, Louisiana Tech, UNLV, a few others, in-state schools as well. But Texas State was his first offer.
Mm-hmm.
So they identified this talent as soon as they saw it on tape. I think I might have saw the same thing that they saw in Tyler Norris. I like his versatility. I think that he could probably slide inside as well. But moves really well for 6'4", 290. Understands how to use his hands. And they've done a pretty good job up and down this list. And a few other guys that you're going to want to, like, names to know, I guess. Wide receiver Jordan Martin from Dallas Kimball, a 5'10", 165-pound speedster. He had 19 offers at the time he committed to Texas State, and he picked the Bobcats over Arizona State, Boston College, Kansas, Ole Miss, North Texas, and Tulsa. And Spring Westfield cornerback Carson Williams, 5'11", 160-pounder. I really like Carson Williams because he's an aggressive-minded defender who plays with a chip on his shoulder. And I actually watched a Spring Westfield game last night, and he made a tremendous play in special teams to get a touchdown. So he's a guy that kind of can line up and do some different things on the field. Just love to see those versatile athletes in the offense. And I didn't list him here. I'm a big Brad Jackson guy. I really like quarterback Brad Jackson. He played, his first 3 seasons at Cypress Creek High School. Started as a freshman, as a matter of fact, at that school. He transferred to San Antonio Reagan this offseason, and they're one of the best teams in Texas, and I really like – he's not the biggest quarterback. He doesn't have the biggest arm compared to maybe some elite, like what you're talking about, like elite 4- and 5-star guys. But Brad Jackson, if you put him in a line with these other quarterbacks, the top guys in the state, Brad Jackson can throw the ball with any of them. He's got a powerful enough arm to fit the ball into tight windows. And I just like what he brings to the table from a leadership perspective and an experience perspective. So Brad Jackson is a guy who I like a lot on this commitment list.
Texas State doing work on the field and on the recruiting trail.
Think that one over Baylor is going to help him?
I think they can hang their hat on that for a little bit. They can dine out on that for a bit. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Now it's time for our underclass of the week in the Dave Campbell's Texan Live Spotlight.
Third down and a pitch out to Carde Mack. Shaking tackles, Carde Mack. Touchdown. What a run. Now it's Carde Mack. Look at him go. Carde Mack, the sophomore, down to the 35 of Katy.
That kid is shifty. He put one foot in the ground and just turned back upfield for Cameron Glenn. He got out downfield and was throwing blocks.
From the 15. The Eagles trying to get back into the lead, and here goes Carde Mack. Very close to the first down marker. 4. Carde Mack, untouched for the touchdown. And off goes Mack again. Carde Mack slicing up this Tiger defense tonight. He's tackled by Jacob Hilton. 3 yards per carry average. That is absurd. And just give it to him again and watch him go. The lefty, that's for sure. They just continue to pound the rock with Carde Mack. Hat trick for number 14. My goodness, what a run.
Carde Mack from Atascocita doing work in their big win over Katy. Good enough to be our underclassman of the week. And he is a guy who is going to be a name to know moving forward. He was a star in their win.
Yeah, I mean, 3 touchdowns versus Katy. Katy? I mean, I'm willing to bet. I'm willing to bet that Katy had a run last year where they didn't give up 3 touchdowns in a 5-game span.
Oh, yeah. That feels safe.
I'm willing to bet that.
That feels. I would say that in the course of Gary Joseph's illustrious career at Katy, I bet 3 touchdowns by a single runner in a game has happened less than 5% of the time.
That's amazing.
it's
And
really
guess
impressive.
what? Cardi Mack's only a sophomore.
He's a name to know there, Cardi Mack, the running back from Atascocita. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. And our recruit of the week is a name you need to know tonight. Allen defensive end Zena Omazulu? Umazulu?
Umozolo.
Nailed it.
Zena Umozolo.
Umozolo.
No notes.
Nailed it. Cash it. Umozolo, Zena Umozolo, is going to be committing.
Live
What?
It's live.
on Dave Campbell's
Yeah.
Texas Football.
Where?
On the YouTube
Here.
page.
On Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
You can watch it right probably where you're watching this
four-star,
show.
The number 4 defensive end in the state, the number 19 overall prospect in the state in the DCTF Rising Hot 100, has 3 teams that we feel he hasn't named the final 3,
Very
right?
quiet.
Been very quiet. But we feel like it's trending towards A&M, Texas, or Oklahoma, right?
Yes.
Umozolo.
Umozolo.
I've-
It's tough. I
Umozolo.
actually backstory Umozolo. When I went out and met with him this spring, I can't for some reason because of the U at the end of his name, my brain doesn't want to lock in exactly on how you're supposed to say his name. And I told him like look, man, I'm struggling with this. I mean, I've said it 20 times, and every time I'm on the spot to say it, I mess it up. I'm sorry.
Umozolo.
Yeah.
Now I've got it. I'm never going to forget it.
Well, I've been on it, you know.
But he's committing live tonight, and whoever gets him is going to get the number 19 prospect in the state, according to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And but you said this has been like radio silent, right?
Yeah, well, he's not done any interviews leading up to this. There hasn't been a whole lot of information. He's not the guy that gets out there and tweets a whole lot of news and all that kind of stuff. He plays it close to the vest. His brother, Nato, plays offensive line at Texas. He was former DCTF 4-star offensive lineman. I believe he retained his redshirt status. I think he only played in 3 games last year at UT. But a big upside offensive lineman. So there's a strong connection in Austin for Zena. Oklahoma's done a tremendous job in this recruitment to overcome that family connection, right? Like there's a strong family connection at UT. Oklahoma's done a tremendous job there. He's taken some visits to Texas A&M. There's been reason for optimism from the A&M standpoint as well. As a matter of fact, I had a couple of A&M reporters in my DMs today kind of asking like, oh, what do you think's going on in this one? There's another behind-the-scenes look for everybody at home. When you're hosting the live commitment, everybody believes you know where these guys are going to end up signing with.
And you know, right?
And I don't know. As a matter of fact, I'm running on a streak right now. I'll say this is probably like commitment number 20 or 21 that
Sounds
we've
right.
had live commitments for. Out of the first 18, 19, I knew.
I think you were like 18. 18
I knew.
Yeah.
Blake Ivy and Zena.
Yeah.
No
idea.
I mean,
So like you could like to the point and I'm not trying to put you on a spot here. You would not even feel comfortable making an educated guess.
I mean, I'm making an educated guess that it will be one of UT and OU.
Okay.
That's what I think. One of my responses to the Texas A&M writers is like, if it's A&M, I'm going to be caught with my pants down.
Okay.
As
You'd be surprised if it was A&M.
yeah,
Okay.
I'd be surprised if it's A&M. Personally, but they're one of 3, so
Yeah.
you can't discount them. And he hasn't named necessarily.
It could be Virginia.
He named a top 9. There hasn't been any information out since then.
When did he
So
name
it's
a
not
top
going to be.
9?
It's not going to be Virginia. Virginia fans, don't
tough.
tune in.
It's tough. I mean, do tune in, but
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead, but you're going to be disappointed with whatever that outcome is.
Zena Umozolo is going
Yeah.
to be committing tonight live at 6 o'clock, right?
6 o'clock
On our YouTube page.
from the Allen Eagles indoor stadium outside of the
And then-
$60 million.
Kinda feels like it sometimes.
That'd be great. $60 million stadium there in Allen.
And it'll be worth even more because Greg Powers will be there, our director of recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas
I'm
Football.
trying to entice our friend Will Wilkerson to come with me to do some social.
Man, there's the selling
Media.
point.
Follow him on Twitter at GPowerScouts. He's fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. Stick around because I want you to introduce you.
Okay.
We're Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. Reminder, get your questions in for Helpful Honda Mailbag right now in the comments. Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We will answer many of them coming up here on Friday. Coming up here momentarily, we'll hear from TCU commit and Aledo quarterback Hauss Hejny after their big win over Denton Guyer. But first, a word from these goods and services.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texans love doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
I feel like bustin' loose, bustin' loose. Come on, get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support, virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Gregory, you are out in Denton on Friday for Aledo's. I guess come from behind. It was kind of back and forth. They were behind at one point.
They were behind at one point.
Their back and forth win over Denton Guyer. Much of the reason that they came away with the win was their quarterback, Hauss Hejny, who was spectacular in this game.
Two-way threat, very cerebral. Love the way he leads this team, and if you're a TCU fan, you listen to this interview, you have to be excited about the future because Hauss Hejny, he knows what's up.
Here's Hauss Hejny here on Texas Football Today.
Greg Powers, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and I'm joined out here by Hauss Hejny, four-star quarterback committed to TCU. We can talk about that later because I want to talk about the big game tonight. Last-second field goal, man, went through the uprights. What was you and your teammates thinking when that happened?
You know, it was just a long time coming because we've been thinking about this game for almost a year now when that clock ticked zero at our own home stadium last year. So that's what we've been working towards this whole offseason is, you know, not first of all beating Parrish and then coming to this game, walking into their house and, you know, coming in here as a better team and showing them that we are a better team. And we came out on top tonight and, you know, we competed our butts off, played for each other, and just had a next play mentality because, you know, we knew they were going to win some reps because they're a good football team and we knew we were. So all it came down to is that next play mentality and keeping our composure.
You're starting to string tons of wins together on the field, off the field. State championship victory last year, Elite 11 finals invite, strong offseason in the camp. Great start to the 2023 season. What does this team need to do to stay focused and get back to AT&T Stadium, walk away with another ring?
You know, really we need to keep our end goal in mind and just, you know, not look forward, not like look past, you know, this next coming game, which is, you know, coming to practice on Monday with a sense of purpose, knowing that we still got room for improvement and, you know, we still got to, you know, work on ourselves as a team. And that's really it, just going day by day, not worrying about what's going on in the future, but focus on what we can control right now.
What is the 2023 version of Hauss Hejny better at than the 2022 version?
I would say just staying more composed in the pocket and keeping my eyes downfield, and that's really it. And trusting what the defense gives me and not questioning, and trusting what they're doing. So yeah.
Everybody knows you're committed to TCU. I mean, you're an in-state legacy commitment
sir.
to TCU, but at one time you were committed to Duke. How hard was that process for you to go ahead and move on from that and then pick TCU down the street, obviously with a lot of connections?
Yes, sir. Duke was there early on in my junior season. Kevin Johns, our OC, started talking to me early on, and he was just a really genuine dude who cared about me as a person and really loved me as a football player. He called me every day, texted me every day, asking how my family's doing, how I'm doing, how school going, stuff like that. So we had a great relationship, and he came to one of my playoff practices, and was videoing me, just being real all in on me, and that meant a lot to me and my family because we knew he was going to take care of me if I did go to Duke. And I went on the visit, and I really enjoyed it. I sat down with Coach Elko and felt comfortable with the program. And, they wanted their quarterback locked down by January.
Yeah.
And I didn't really want to lose out on that because I really didn't know what other options I was going to have. And I was like, I don't want to lose out on this.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. It is crazy. And then all my dream schools that I've always, wanted to go to in Texas, started reaching out to me. And it's a blessing for sure to be able to be in this position. And, TCU right down the road. Both of my parents went there. I grew up in that locker room and in the training room around the campus. And both of my parents are student athletes there. And, I've never missed a football home game.
Oh, that's cool.
Since I was like a toddler. So, purple's in my blood and in my heart. And, I really love Coach Browse and what he brings to the offense, and him and Coach Kala, the assistant quarterback coach, and Kendall and the OC. We got a great relationship, and they want me to be their quarterback of their future. And Coach Dykes has expressed the same thing, and I feel comfortable at TCU. So I'm excited to, get to work there in the next couple months.
I know there's some connections there for you. You talked about them, how you grew up watching the team, that kind of stuff. But you wouldn't go there without a comfortable fit with the offense. You're a high-profile enough recruit. You have a lot of good options. What was it about TCU that pulled you in as a football player?
Coach Browse, he runs like an RPO-style offense. He likes to run the quarterback and, get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. So, his schematically wise, I fit really well in his offense. And, that's really it.
Hauss Hejny, state championship winning quarterback, game 2 winning quarterback over Denton Geyer, game winning.
Yes,
lots of wins coming your way.
Yes, sir.
Keep it locked for his career here in Texas high school football, and of course as he goes on to play his college football at TCU in Fort Worth. Man, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Hauss Hejny, quarterback for the number 1 ranked and 2-0 Aledo Bearcats. Aledo is going to be a problem. Not the least of which is that Hauss Hejny's at the control of the offense.
They're loaded.
They are.
I mean, they have a lot of really good talent. They're a disciplined football team, and they really passed the eyeball test. I was super impressed with how they looked on the field before the state championship game last season. Out of all the teams, I thought, wow, this team is playing above its class level. And we kind of saw that on Friday night as they were able to go on the road and beat a 6A powerhouse in Denton Geyer. That's a big road. That's a big time road win.
And that's not surprising to me because I need to upload it to our YouTube page. I'll do that after the show. So if you haven't seen it, you can. But we had a sit-down conversation at coaching school with Robbie Jones, the new head coach at Aledo, and it was very funny because he is very straight-laced. I mean, very short, very to the point. He's a man that loves football, and that's what he does. And he admitted that. He said, well, Steve Woods, that old country boy that everyone loves to hear talking, he said...
And Buchanan, too. Buchanan will spin a yarn on you.
He said, Buck will talk anybody in circles for days, and he goes, I don't like to talk much. I just like to coach ball.
Yeah.
And so it does not surprise me that they're very direct and disciplined and to the point now.
That's a great point. Because
he's got a great sense of humor, but it's very straight.
You made that point about them being disciplined. That is, you got, a new coach taking over. They've only had Tim Buchanan or Steve Wood for a quarter century. And now he takes over, and the culture takes over. Robbie Jones is a great coach, certainly. I think what he would chalk it up to, because he helped to build it as their offensive coordinator.
He's been there for 23 years.
Yeah, is that he would say, we have built a culture here that the expectation is we're going to play disciplined football. How many programs get a new coach, and suddenly, teams do little things wrong? Little things wrong. Aledo doesn't do that. And that was what was most impressive.
I think the biggest question mark kind of coming into was how will they they had some good receivers that moved on last year, receiver that moved on last year. How are they going to replace some of that talent? And Hawk Patrick Daniels and Racine Guillory and Caden Finley. Like, they got plenty of offensive. The offense is loaded.
And one of those reasons is QB1 Hauss, Hejny, the TCU commit. We appreciate his time. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts?
How about we hear from our friends at First National Bank of Omaha?
Let's do that. Dave Campbell's Texas Football is proud to partner with First National Bank of Omaha to present the Dave Campbell's Impactful Leadership Award presented by FNBO. The weekly award will recognize 10 influential Texas high school football athletes who are leaders both on and off the playing field. Congratulations to this week's winner of the Dave Campbell's Impactful Leadership Award presented by First National Bank of Omaha. To read more about what makes this week's recipient such a great leader, visit texasfootball.com. Thank you, First National Bank of Omaha. Now let's go over to Ashley Pickle for a hard-hitting edition of America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Coming up at 2 o'clock today, wherever you're watching this, is Republic of Football.
They're gonna move this TV. It's going to make me angry.
They're going to move everything and mess up the entire studio, so at least make it worthwhile for us to have to put their entire life back together by watching Carter Yates, Ishmael Johnson, and Mallory Hartley talk about college football stuff.
It's coming up.
I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm sure it's college football stuff.
Your Ohio State Buckeyes have a big date with... Is Bo Pelini still the coach at Youngstown State?
I have no idea.
Youngstown State. I am scheduled to be at a college football game this weekend.
All right.
Where? Oh, yeah.
Mizzou hosts Middle Tennessee.
Okay. Roadie.
Flying up there.
Nice.
First time in 9 years my wife and I are going to a football game. Yeah. We're into that.
Did Mizzou win their first game?
They did. They played Thursday night. They beat South Dakota.
Well, I think Middle Tennessee's looking like garbage, so I think you should be good.
I didn't even see.
I'm pretty sure.
But don't underestimate Mizzou's ability to also look like garbage.
I imagine RoRoF's going to talk about Texas Bama this week.
There's Texas Bama.
Which obviously
UTSA Texas State, which is suddenly like the hottest ticket in America.
Yeah, that's going to be a cool /fun game. If you haven't seen it yet, you haven't read it yet, check out Mike Craven's piece on G.J. Kinney and Jeff Traylor. Awesome.
It's
awesome
so cool.
read.
It's a really amazing read.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to a college football game this weekend, Pickle?
No, I am not.
Where's UNT?
They're on the road against... Oh, no.
This feels knowable. Hold on.
No, I know this. ACU? No, that's the next home game. Where are they going this week?
You're listening to live coverage of us looking
I
up.
saw it.
How was that
this
first
morning.
game, Pickle?
Not great.
Oh, no. Why would you say that? North Texas at FIU.
Oh, yeah, that's
12
right.
12 and a half point favorites.
See, but here's the thing.
We got to win that.
Okay, but I'm pretty sure, and I need to go back and look the exact stat. Maybe I can give it to y'all tomorrow, but I am fairly confident that UNT has not won in Eastern Standard Time in, like, years.
Wow.
Like, every time that they go to the East Coast, they find a way to mess it all up.
I'm going to look up that stat, and I will have it for you. I'm going to give myself a deadline.
Okay.
I will have that stat for you on the pre-show tomorrow.
Okay.
I will look up the last time they won in the Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah. Because we had really high hopes about it when FAU and UNT were at the top of the conference for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time, if we played there, we just got wrecked. So what I'm saying is my confidence level is low, but I had a good time attending everything that was.
Wait a second. Hold on.
They might have finally broke it not too long ago, but it was a very long streak before then.
Because I think, let me make sure they're in the right time zone. Let me see. Nope, never mind. Because they won at Western Kentucky, but Western Kentucky's in Central Time Zone.
Yeah, they're in God's time zone.
Maybe they're in Eastern, but they're not.
No, the Florida schools have always been a just detriment.
Is the Frisco Bowl in East Coast? It's going to do it for us.
Can't win there either.
Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to Hauss Hejny, the quarterback of the TCU, or soon-to-be TCU Horned Frogs, and current quarterback of the Aledo Bearcats for being our guest. For Greg Powers and Ashley Pickle.
The man who
I'm
always
Greg
goes
Tepper.
above and beyond.
You're holding it. You might as well say it.
That's not my line.
Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. It's being held by Greg Powers. We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.